So for those people out there that don't quite understand this concept of green paper, white paper, legislation, tell us a little bit about what a green paper is versus a white paper. So welcome to another automotive industry session with me, your host, George Mienie, and it's here where we feature key representatives from our automotive industry who are pioneers of innovation, leaders of change, or even car dealers who do great things and keep our industry alive. So today is no different. The Department of Trade and Industry and the competition DTIC released a green paper on the advancement of new energy vehicles in South Africa as part of a series of policy papers accompanying the 2021 budget for the department. The purpose of this green paper was to establish a clear policy foundation that will enable the country to coordinate a long-term strategy that will position South Africa at the forefront of the advanced vehicle and vehicle component manufacturing as part of our industry. This strategy, complemented by a consumption leg and a focus on increasing competitiveness in a global race and the transition from internal combustion engines to electromobility solutions and technologies. And in line with the world's looming deadlines, I'm curious to know what progress has been made to keep up. And with me today, I have none other than the chairman of Naamsa and CEO of Naamsa, Mike Mabasa, to tell us more about the green paper. Welcome again, Mike. Really nice to see you.
Thank you, George. Thank you very much for having me.
Getting straight into it, Mike, how is Naamsa involved in this green paper, and how did you get involved?
Well, look, as you know, Naamsa, as the Automotive Business Council in the country, we represent all automakers, be it manufacturers who are manufacturing vehicles in the country, and also those who are importing vehicles into the country. Whether it is passenger vehicles, light commercial vehicles, or heavy commercial vehicles in terms of buses and trucks. There's no way that any government, whether it's in South Africa or globally, can be able to put such a massive policy document without talking to industry. So we got involved because we obviously play an indispensable role in terms of shaping most importantly, the evolution of what is about to happen with the electromobility. So when the minister reached out and spoke to the industry through what we call the Executive Oversight Committee, or the EOC, we were very pleased that he actually invited us to participate very actively in the drafting of the green paper. And our team worked very, very tirelessly to support government as much as possible, so that we can really be able to make sure that all the key salient features of what needs to be considered by government from a policy point of view are actually included in that particular document. So, and that's how we got involved. And we were very pleased that government obviously extended that hand of collaboration with the industry, so that we can be able to have a very solid discussion document that is currently on the table now.
Well, it's good to know the government kind of consults with the industry, because I think there's this misconception that the government just goes off and does its own thing, and that's not the truth. Yes, the government has its challenges, but it does consult with industry. And I mean, our automotive industry, as you know, 7% of GDP. It's a big part of the industry. So for those people out there that don't quite understand this concept of green paper, white paper, legislation, tell us a little bit about what a green paper is versus a white paper.
Yeah, absolutely. So a green paper is actually a foundation phase. I mean, think about a school-going child who starts in grade R and then grade 1, and then evolves up until grade 12. So a green paper, it's really your foundation phase. It lays the foundation. It begins to tease out all the key policy issues for possible consideration. It begins to say, what is it that we need to think about if we are going to be putting together a policy document as government in discussion with not just with itself as government, but certainly with industry and other interested parties. So a green paper is really a document that says, what is it that we need to talk about, and what are the key issues that are important in order for us to be able to consider as government, and make sure that those issues are, taken front and center in those particular discussions. And then once the green paper has obviously been finalized, then it evolves into a white paper. A white paper now becomes more of a regulatory document, because the green paper has teased out all the key issues, and then we are given an opportunity as industry and also as interested parties to make our inputs. Different stakeholders are going to say, but we have not considered that, we have not considered that, what about this, what about that, and so on. And then all those comments are now elevated into a white paper. And then a white paper then goes into what we call a formal parliamentary process, where it's now going into Parliament. Parliament considers the white paper. Parliament discusses the white paper. They also do what we call a public participation. So they called members of the public to come and make representation in Parliament on that particular white paper. And once the white paper has been endorsed, then it becomes a formal policy document of government, where they now adopt it. It must obviously go to both houses of Parliament, which is the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. And once those two have agreed that the white paper is in order, then it goes to Cabinet, and the Cabinet approves it. And then once it is approved, then the President signs it into law, and then it becomes a formal government policy, which we can then be able to use as the industry, that this is the South African policy on new energy vehicles in South Africa. So that's how the two are actually structured, from a regulatory point of view.
So thanks for that, Mike. So if you ever wanted to know what the green paper, white paper is, this is the process that gets it to regulation, and I'm excited about it.